Hello, everyone, and thank you very much for joining me on this channel, Adults ESL Online Learning. I'm Dr. Hernandez Smith, and this video is about the film AlLHAIL or Grad. Um, this film is an Argentinian film, so it's spoken in Spanish. And let's get into this story. Let's talk about AlLHAIL. It starts off in 1997, and Miguel, we learn, directed his wife to stand in the middle of a storm. They were filming the storm when she was struck down by lightning. Then the film cuts to present day, and an old man in a mountain valley picked up a figurine and looked up at the sky. And then we see the credits. So once the credits are over, we're introduced to Miguel in his posh apartment. And in his apartment, he studied the weather from his multiple computer screens. So he did a lot of research. During his research or while he's working, he ignored phone messages left for him from his daughter, Carla. Miguel was the beloved weatherman in Buenos Aires and was getting his own show about the weather. On his way to work, he explained to a taxi driver that predicting the weather was a science and the apps on phones calculated faulty results from algorithms. So, Miguel is a firm believer that research and studying the weather is a science, and that's how he develops his forecast. Well, at work, Miguel disagreed with his producer. His producer believed that this new show should be a distraction for the audience, but Miguel believed the show was about the weather. And Miguel told the audience that weather would be clear and storm free for the evening. The show was a success, and Luis, who is a taxi driver, who was a taxi driver in the film, was having his family dinner, and he's just one of many people living in Buenos Aires who watched Miguel's new show and believed that Miguel was right, and followed his prediction that the weather would be clear for the night for that evening. But later that evening, it hailed and ruined Luis's taxi because he parked it on the street with no cover. The following morning, Luis woke up to learn that he was wrong about the weather, and now he had a ruined reputation because when he went out into the city, he learned that the city was badly damaged. And then Luis learned that hail damage was not included in his car insurance, and he was devastated. Miguel's error cost him his job and was taken off the show and forced to take a vacation. At home, people stood outside protesting Miguel, and with the help of his assistant, he fled his apartment in secret with the help of his assistant. Luis was humiliated at work, and Miguel was shunned on the airplane. Miguel arrived at his daughter's house, and she reluctantly let him stay with her. Carla, that's his daughter's name, left for work, and Miguel looked around the house and was reminded of memories of his late wife. Carla was a pediatrician, and she's a single woman, and her house is exactly how she likes it. It's a little messy, but she likes the messiness. It's her mess. Well, her father Miguel cleaned up the house while she was gone and made dinner. And at dinner, he learned that Carla had plans to sell the house. He also asked questions about her dating and starting a family. And she got very upset about that and said she didn't feel close to him and he was like an acquaintance and not her dad. Well, at work, Carla took Miguel to meet her patient, a little boy, because he said he wanted to be like her father, a meteorologist. And then she told him to stay away from her house for a few hours while she had her friends over. And because Miguel had arrived unannounced, um, she did not have time to cancel her plans. So she asked her father to entertain himself out in the city for a few hours while she entertained her friends. So that's when Miguel went to a bar and he met the wise elder from the beginning of the film. Um, he's the man who lived in the mountains and the one who understood nature so much that he could predict the weather. And the wiser older man told him, Miguel, that at 7:14 a.m. there would be a storm. Miguel returned home to find Carla and her boyfriend together. And both Carla and her father realized that they both didn't know each other very well. And the next day, the prediction was true. And Miguel went to find the man who predicted the weather, and he found him. Miguel found the man in the mountains and asked him how he knew about the weather so precisely. And Miguel offered to pay him to learn how to predict the weather, but the wise older man said he didn't want any money or any fame. That he could do it because his mother could could do it, and that's how he was able to predict the weather so precisely. The and his mother was able to read the weather from corn from and which shocked or surprised Miguel a little bit, but then he was intrigued about this technique of how learning how to predict the weather. And so he asked for more information, like, well, how do you do it? And um, that's when the older man asked Miguel if he wanted to know about how to predict the weather because he wanted to know about weather, or was it for fame? So the Miguel, thought about it and he gave his response and he followed the man to the valley and the man directed Miguel's focus to the dirt on the land. And uh, the older, wiser man read the figurines on his land. He had these little figurines um, in places on the land, and that is where this wise man would go to read or to predict the weather. The man told Miguel to warn the people in Buenos Aires that there was a hailstorm headed their way and it would arrive at 11:07 precisely. So it's interesting because Miguel doesn't even second guess this wise man's technique, which is just reading the color of a figurine, and how his mother was able to read or predict the weather based on um, corn. He's just going with it because he sees that these results are true. It happens just how the weather happens just how this older man predicts it. Well, while this is happening, Luis is uh, Luis was following Miguel's, I guess, background. He went to where Miguel used to live, or where Miguel's apartment was, and he was just trying to find Miguel to find some kind of, to hold someone accountable for spreading false information, because this false information destroyed his reputation at work, and also his credibility among his family, because now he he wasn't able to provide for his family due to his car being damaged. And so Luis found Carla. Luis found Miguel's daughter and followed her to her house. And Carla, when she arrived at home, she found Miguel packing his clothes and headed to Buenos Aires to warn everyone about the hailstorm that the wise man had predicted. Then Luis entered Carla's house and threatened to hurt Miguel. He blamed Miguel for ruining his career and family. Miguel told Luis that there would be another storm, and that no one had predicted this, not even the apps on the phones. And Miguel said, he told Luis to go warn his family and to save them, and then they would respect him again. And if Miguel was wrong, he gave Luis permission to beat him up. Well, this was enough for Luis. So he turns around and drives back to Buenos Aires. And this really upsets Carla, but she and her father come to some amends, some type of understanding, and he said goodbye to her, and he left to Buenos Aires to warn the people. As soon as he got to Buenos Aires, Miguel went straight to the television studio and went on air, warning everyone about the hailstorm. Luis went home and tried to get his family inside the house, and Miguel went out into the streets and saw the weather change at 11:06, and then huge soccer ball sized hail at 11:07 falling from the sky. Everyone was in danger because the storm destroyed buildings and injured people. Um, it's a pretty spectacular scene or sequence of events, watching that in that beautiful city of Buenos Aires being destroyed by a hailstorm, by hail balls of hail. As soon as the hailstorm was over, people came out to see the aftermath. And the next day, Miguel was back on his game. Miguel was back as his happy, lucky, go, free loving self. And this time, instead of ignoring his daughter's messages, the phone messages, he was engaging in texting his daughter. And which was really sweet, because he had left his beloved goldfish, which is little a side comedic character, or bit in the film. He left his goldfish with his daughter. So now Carla has a little, is taking care of the goldfish, and it's part of her dad. And they're slowly rekindling this father-daughter relationship, and it's very innocent, very sweet, and it's lovely to watch on screen, even if it is between two adults. It's just heartwarming. um, Luis went back to the insurance company and was fully covered. Um, he had gotten his taxi fully covered with insurance. So um, now he was very happy and prepared to get his car fixed. And then Miguel was asked by by the media how he knew about the weather and gave all the credit to the wise old man in the mountains. Even though he had promised the wise old man that he wouldn't tell anyone, he shared this information with the media and now the whole, you know, all of Argentina. News crews parked in front of the old man's house, and the old wise man looked out the window and he saw them. He saw all the news trucks, and he calmly took out his comb and he combed his hair back and confidently went up to the news crews. And that's the end of the film. So let me know what you think and leave a comment in the comment section. These are my questions after watching All Hail. Number one, will the old wise man share his predictions with the media? He's a recluse. He doesn't want to be in the city. He didn't seem to be interested in fame or fortune because he's been living in the mountains for years. And he told Miguel that he wasn't interested in money. He didn't want any fame. He didn't want anything. He just wanted to help the people, to save them from being hurt. So is he going? So will the wise old man change now that he has this attention, or um, will he stay true to who he is and not share this information with the media? Or, question number two, will Miguel ask for more predictions from the old wise man? Um, is this a relationship that will further develop? Yeah, because they're both meteorologists. We have Miguel who believes in the science, and then we have this old wise man who just reads the signs of the universe. And he has his little figurines that talk to him through changing colors. And then my third question number three, is how do you read signs from the universe? Because the universe is talking to us, it is communicating, and are you able to read it? How do you read it? Um, I personally look at the butterflies, I look at the clouds, um, the wind. I listen to the wind or hitting the trees, and I feel that I'm being spoken to, or I'm being communicated to, or the universe is communicating to me. And it helps when I'm not with my phone or looking at any kind of mobile device. So I hope you liked this video. And if you liked it, go ahead and leave a comment, or please hit the like button. And if you like this type of content, please hit the subscribe button and the notification bell so you can be notified when more content like this is uploaded. And if you have any questions or want to share your opinion about AlLHAIL, feel free to leave a comment in the comment section. I hope you all have a wonderful day. And again, thank you for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.